What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we are talking about the game of life was hard until I realized this one simple thing. Before I get into this one simple thing from the game of life, let me explain the game of life. The game of life is literally how we move in the world, right? So it's like this game that we're playing. If you think about it, I'm gonna give you a very great example. So GTA, Grand Theft Auto, right? I'm gonna bring this back to like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with CJ, right? So when we were playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas back in the day, what we would do is we would um, we would go to the gym, right? And so CJ would eventually get buff, but it wouldn't happen in one day, right? You would have to keep showing up to the gym every single time the day changed, because eventually you reach your max limit for the day. And so as CJ keeps on getting stronger, his limits increase, right? And so eventually he gets super brolic. Okay, that's one aspect. Then you go ahead and train your stamina and you get your stamina up, and then eventually you're running forever, right? And so like all these different skills keep on getting accumulated over time. It wasn't like, oh, okay, let me just simply, there was no cheat really for it. It was like you had to put in the work. You had to go ahead, go to the gym, get your weight up. You had to go and ride the bike, for a long ass time in order to max out your stats. And so in the game of life, you're a character and you have to max out this character's stats. And so in order to max out your character stats, you have to be consistent and do all these different things. All right, cool. So the game of life pretty much mastered or explained right there. Now, real quick, in case you guys didn't know, my name is Emmanuel Velasco, and sometimes I say some outlandish stuff on the internet, sometimes I don't, and all just depends. And so, I'm on a mission to help 70 to 100 people learn everything I know from mindset to business and beyond so that they can help another 70 to 100 people do the same thing. And the ripple effect of that is more than 51 million lives impacted. This is the famous book, Meditations. And so Meditations is just a book that I read because this back covers everything I need to for you guys to hold me accountable. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self deception and ignorance. With that being said, I like criticism, love criticism. So if you criticize me and it's actually something to make me better, I'm probably going to take it and apply it to my life because why not? Right? Why not be better? All right. So back to the game of life was hard until I realized this one thing. I'm actually going to maybe give you guys some notes from my mentor the other day on this one. And so when it comes to the game of life, right? It's like, or the thing that I realized is you gotta change your perspective, simply like that. You change how you see it, everything else changes. And so magically, once you change how you see it, it's like if you see it as good, nobody else could tell you it's bad, right? If the devil to you is good, then the devil's good. Like I can't go and be like, you're wrong, because that's what you believe. That's what you know. And so based on your perspective is basically how you live or how you die. Because how you see it is what becomes, not how everybody else tells you to see it. Because when you see it this way, that brings out these feelings on that specific thing. That brings out this thought of this thing, right? Remember, a thought goes around the world twice before it comes into your brain fully, and you have 60,000 thoughts every day. So you have a lot of stuff that you're dealing with, and so that probably creates some decision fatigue. And so once you realize the perspective of who you are and who you're meant to be, now you cut out all the bullshit, right? And now you can focus on what truly matters. Because for the most part, at least this is what I've realized. When when you have kids, everything changes. And the reason why I say this is because what I've realized is the information that I know, or that I've known in the past for a long time that I wasn't applying, they made me apply it. And the reason why they made me apply it is literally because, wow, I want to live and see them enjoy their lives. So I need to be healthier. I need to apply these health aspects that I know, which some of the health aspects that I know are like pretty deep, right? I know for a fact that we're poisoning ourselves with a lot of foods, if not all foods. And so health is something very serious that we got to take into consideration because that's what we're feeding inside, right? We're putting it, digesting it in through our mouth. So whatever we're putting in our mouth is it has to, be consumed, right? The nutrients, the ingredients, or whatever, it gets sucked into our system. And so regardless if that's something good or bad, then that's what is, right? And so by changing my perspective and looking for life or deciding life, it made me decide on different things. Okay, like I used to be like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm eating whatever I please. And now it's like I have made different choices now. It's like now I go ahead and decide. I'm like, let me go ahead and eat better because I want longevity. That's the objective. So really, food is just a resource for me to pull from. It doesn't necessarily have to taste good. When it does, that's great, right? But it doesn't have to, right? And so we make the decision of what we decide, what is, the feeling of it, right? I was drinking water the other day. You could talk to your water. You could add more health, more life into your water. You could add, you could write and put words on your water, make it amplified, more powerful. But did you know that? I did for a long time. And so if I'm not applying these things, then it's like kind of pointless that I'm not applying these things. So that's why the one thing is really switching your perspective. One situation from one person is bad, one is, not as good. For example, there's an accident that happens, and this one person gets into this accident, and he's like, "Fuck you, you motherfucker! I'm gonna fucking take your life. I'm gonna kill you." The next person, he's like, "Hey, are you okay? Don't worry about the car. Your life is more valuable than that. We could replace the car, but we can't replace you." This person sees the same situation differently. And because he sees it as an opportunity to speak more life and be more grateful for life than for the materialism, he probably lives a more quality life versus the person who is stuck on the materialism. Because again, the things are gonna go. Like, hey, I'm gonna wash the shirt so many times in the dryer. I'm gonna wear it that it's gonna go in the garbage eventually. It's gonna have holes or whatever because it's worn. So it's like again, eventually it's actually undefeated. The game of life is simple, but we overcomplicate everything. And so when we speak about how simple it is, it's like it can't be. You're telling me just change my words, go from try to do, go from I can to I can, go from why me to why not me. These are slight changes, and it's the little things that really matter. And it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? Right now I have a mess going on. And so the reason why I have that mess is because it's cleansing time. There's a lot of unnecessary stuff. There's waste, if you will, that I have. And so we gotta get rid of that waste so that we can make space for the good. They say Reverend Ike is somebody who understands a lot about this game. Rest in peace to him. But you can learn a lot from Reverend Ike, and he has a YouTube channel and he spits out content I want to say every day, honestly. He has enough content to spit out every day for years and years and years. It's been going on for years and years and years. Anyways, the reason why I mentioned Rapper Night is because the way you see things is the way reality tends to form. So, do you see yourself as such a worm as I? Or do you see yourself as an abundant human being that prospers, who has enough not only for himself, but to give and to give abundantly, right? If you're worrying about giving and somebody asks you for $5 and you're like, "Ugh, I ain't got it. I'm sorry. This is my last $5. I can't give it to you." There's a reason why this person is asking you for this money, because they see money on you, and so they see it. That's why they ask. Oh, this guy's carrying himself as money, so let me ask him for some. He probably has an abundance of it, but you're over here looking at it like, ugh, this motherfucker asking me for money. Fuck that guy. I'm struggling too. You may be homeless, but I'm struggling too. And it's like, no, that was an opportunity. See, the subconscious, it doesn't matter if you're giving $1 or giving $1 million. The money is the same, literally. It just sees the transfer of energy, and it sees, you have enough to give, so you gotta get more. Let me get you more so you could give more. That's the yin and the yang of it. You can't have light without darkness. You can't have good without evil, because it's just, if we didn't have good, then there's no evil that exists. If we didn't have darkness, then light couldn't exist. Imagine how awful this world, showing you perspective now. Imagine how awful this world is if it's just 24 hours of darkness every single day. Okay, that seems pretty bad, right? What about just pure light? 24 hours of light. I know there's places that have this, but it's like just 24 hours of light. Your concept of time would just go away, even though time is not something that exists. Let's flip the script on that. You don't you can't spend time. It's impossible to spend time, but it's possible for you to share life force. Because guess what? If I share a year with you, I'm not getting that year back, right? I just shared life force with you, right? Because that's 1 year gone. Whether it's like my capacity to live is forever, or my capacity is 100 years, right? It doesn't matter. Again, the game doesn't know the details. It just knows the feeling and where you want to go. So the perspective really is to look at the ending and see how everything plays out. Because if you ask for wisdom, you go get why nots or why not me's in order to see if you truly want wisdom. Because there's things that are going to test you of that wisdom, and those tests are going to be tough, right? We didn't realize we asked for it until it happens, and once it happens, we're like, oh shit, um, I asked for this, and that's why they say be careful what you wish for, because again, what you wish for, you have some feelings behind it. Oh man, I wish to roll in a Rolls Royce. I wish to buy a Rolls Royce. Okay, but how do you feel about it? I wish I could buy a Rolls Royce, but it's so outreach. It seems impossible. I wouldn't. You don't really want it. If you wanted it, you'll see it and be like, I desire a Rolls Royce. That shit is mine. Oh man, I see myself in here just driving this thing. Perspective. Wow, this seat is so comfortable. Use your imagination. That's where the true power is too. When you can see it and you can feel it, those are two things. And in here, in your mind, you could always see it every single time. There's no doubt of not seeing it. You can see every single image that you choose to see, right? What is the perspective that you choose to see? Are you choosing good? Or are you choosing bad? Are you choosing negative or are you choosing positive? Because what you focus on tends to increase. So if you want it to increase, go ahead, keep focusing on that negative stuff. Hey, this guy stole from you. Keep focusing on that. Stay in that feeling, and then you'll go have more experiences that bring you down. But if you decide to switch and you focus on only the positive, and that's all you could see, everything could be flipped. Believe it or not, regardless of how bad the situation is, it could be flipped and seen in a positive light. But do you have the power, the control, the ability to flow in that way of just seeing it that way? Because it's like, oh, okay, boom, I got into that car accident. When I got into that car accident, it was rough. The initial reaction, it wasn't like, oh, fuck this guy, he hit me. It wasn't that. I went out there and made sure he was okay, right? But for me, it was more so the financial struggle at the time that my family would go through because of the situation. And so I knew, and this is key, I knew that was going to happen. So I knew it. That's why I decided on my perspective. And so that's what it had become. It was a struggle. I created that based on my thoughts, my words, my actions. That's why it was a struggle. And then what I came to realize is I was forced to slow down because I kept moving. I didn't stop to focus on the things that truly mattered. And now in that moment, it made me truly realize, well, not in that moment, in that time period of the healing process, if you will. That's when I realized, okay, I understand. Or should I say, I understand the situation. And now because I know what's going on, I could move accordingly. And so that was a great opportunity for me to slow down and start creating more. Because I wasn't creating, I was more in consumption mode than creating mode back in those days. And so now I've been creating hell of a lot, way more than ever before. And why? It's because I decided to. I made that decision. I changed my perspective on what I was seeing. And because of that, I was able to become so much more powerful and so much stronger. And so, again, remember the feelings is where the power is at. And I have written down here, I didn't even grab anything from here for you guys. But it really is, I know you guys heard of this, kill them with kindness. That's how you do it. Because at the end of the day, why be negative? What's the point? To part emotion and share control? Energy, emotion. When you let out that fuck, when you let out that anger, you're putting your emotion out. So your E in motion, your energy, emotion. And so depending on what type of energy you're putting out, it might, and energy is a funky word, but it depends on what type is coming out, because that's what type that returns in abundance, right? You could have an abundance of negativity. Your inner being is always working for you, always for your highest good, whatever you decided, right? So that's why you choose these words, and then say, oh, that's what you want. Okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and give you more of that, because that's what you want. That's what you're talking about. Okay, cool. We're go ahead and give you more. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, cool. We're gonna give you more of that to talk about, right? It doesn't know the differentiation of like, oh, this is actually bad. It just knows that this is what we're focusing on. So this is what we do. That's why keeping your perspective right here in front of you is so important, because the perspective of the ending is what you need to focus on. And seeing that and just staying there. Okay, this is the end. This is the end. This is the end. This is the end. Don't forget it. It might be the $10 million you. This is the end, right? That's what you see. But now you're letting the stuff in between that has to happen in order for you to achieve this goal. It has to align itself. So maybe it has to drop this. It has to drop that. It has to break this away. So you could become the person that you need to become in order to achieve this goal. But you're sitting here focusing on every single day, every single change. Like, it's bad, but it's happening because you asked for it. Let's give you an example before we go. the Avengers Endgame. Endgame is interesting because what Endgame did, Doctor Strange is the only one who knew the outcome. And remember, he was seeing all the outcome, and he's like, "Fuck, there's only one outcome that makes us win this war." And so Tony asked him when they're in the middle of the last fight, "Hey, is this the one?" And he shakes his head, "Yeah, this is the one." And so what ended up happening? Well, they lost, and it was 5 years of struggle. That's what they had to go through in order to achieve the win against Thanos and reverse everything. Right? Tony Stark's had to sacrifice himself. Spoiler alert, unfortunately, already spoiled. But it's been out for years, so it's your fault if you got spoiled on that. But so it's like he had to be the one. He was the one who asked the question, and he couldn't be told of how the ending happened. This is the ending he wanted. Okay, focus on the ending. Oh, this is the one, Doctor Strange. Okay, I'm gonna go all in. Right? He didn't like be like, okay, this is the one. I see everybody getting fucked up. Yeah, I'm gonna pull back. Like I'm gonna take it easy. No, he still went and fought as hard as everybody else to his best of ability and still lost. But that was the perfect opportunity for the win because you had to set up this certain events, these sequences, in order to truly win. Because any other way, they would have lost completely, total defeat. But because of the ending that they specifically chose, they had to go a specific way about it, and that was perceived negativity because through the 5 years, people like Spider-Man was gone, right? A lot of people disintegrated, disappeared, and then they came back 5 years later. Well, Doctor Strange said that, "Hey guys, all right, so this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna go into this war with Thanos, and I promise, we're gonna win. We gotta go through this war with Thanos. We're gonna lose it, and we're gonna get devastated. And like basically, he wins. He snaps his finger. It's game over, and we're gonna have to deal with that for 5 years of struggle and turmoil and stuff. And then after those 5 years, we're gonna go back and fight him again." Do you have the ability? If I said, "Hey, I can guarantee you that you're gonna make $1 billion, but it's gonna take 5 years, and you're gonna have to lose a lot of things first before those 5 years are up, and then you'll achieve your $1 billion status." You're not gonna stick to the course. Guarantee it. It's too long of a period. It's like eventually, really, in month 6, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, I got 4.5 more years of this. Can I really do 4.5 more years of this type of struggle in order to achieve what I want to achieve? Is it even gonna happen if this is what life is like right now? Like I'm at 0, and it's year 2. How am I gonna do the billion?" Well, maybe you might create that $1 billion product, and then boom, you're at $1 billion very fast. But again, you're focusing on the now, what's happening right in front of you, instead of focusing on the ending, the perspective of the end result of what you want. That is the true focus of what we need to focus on, is what is going to happen at the end. Not in the beginning, not in the middle, but the end. So focus on your perspective. Change that. It changes pretty much everything. What you see is what you get. Perspective is how you get ahead. Look at it differently, and everything will change. With that being said, I appreciate you guys showing up to this video. The game of life was hard until I realized perspective. And now the game of life shouldn't be hard for you guys anymore because you know about perspective. So if you appreciate this, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace.